It's Marshawn Evans, Reinvention Strategist, Life Catalyst, and founder of Me University, and I am here with one of our amazing Me University Mastermind members in our Launch Me Mastermind program, Dr. Saundra Williams. That's Dr. Saundra Williams. And I just wanted to sit down with her for a moment. We just finished up a mastermind meeting, and I wanted you to just tell the world a little bit about you. I think that you truly represent confidence in action. And so what brought you to Me University, and what is it that you are seeking to launch?
Well, I am, my full-time job is I am Chief Technology Officer for all 58 community colleges in the state of North Carolina, but I'm also a minister. And although I am very fulfilled in my job, I love what I do, I love helping students, I love helping faculty, but there was something missing. And what was missing is my love for helping women move forward with what God has called them to do. Either call them to do in ministry, like me, or call them to do in the marketplace, like me. And so helping women move forward in what they've been called to do is my passion. And although I can do a little bit of that on the job, there was that missing piece for me, going and doing that sort of thing at community.
So what was the missing piece? What was the missing piece? What was keeping you kind of stuck?
I had no system, and I was doing lots of things, but there was no structure to it. I had no systems, I had no structure, I had no infrastructure, I didn't really know what to do. I didn't know the steps to take, I didn't know the possibilities. And when you don't know possibilities, you're just reaching and you're not reaching for anything. And so I was looking for something, program, class, or something that would give me some structure, that would give me some instructions, and that would tell me, okay, this is what you need to do. This is how you need to do it. But what was very important to me is that what would undergird all of those things was the spiritual piece.
Okay. So for you, faith and business going together was extremely important, because you actually have a ministry background.
Yes, I do.
And so how has that shift been for you of coming from ministry and going into the marketplace, having that ministry background? Were there any barriers that you've had to work on?
Yes,
I'll be
very frank with you. It has been very difficult. It has been very difficult because having a ministry heart, there are things that you want to do, but then also having a business heart, you also want to help people and be compensated for it. And so having that shift, moving from ministry to the marketplace has been difficult for me. However, I know that's what God has called me to do. I know He's called me in addition to ministry, but He's also called me to the marketplace. And so I'm working with women who are willing to invest in themselves and move themselves forward.
I like that. So what are some of the things that you have seen with, can I say church folk?
Sure.
Is that okay? What are some of the things that you have seen that have been a challenge or an impediment from the inside of actually being able to move forward? Because I feel a lot of people say, I'm anointed, and I'm gifted, and I can do all of these things, and they're waiting on the Lord.
Right.
Now, I believe in that passage, but how do you help someone kind of deal with that mindset of just waiting on a miracle or waiting on things to happen versus being a part of making it happen?
Right. I always go back to the scripture, faith without works is dead. You've got to do something. You can have all the faith in the world, but if you don't put some action to it, you always say action
and traction.
Action and traction go together. And so without that, and if you don't put some works with your faith, then you're not going to get anywhere. Jesus worked. He traveled every day. He did something towards His mission every single day. And if we don't do that, then we're not going to get anywhere. A lot of church folk, using that term, a lot of
I'm
church,
one of them.
Yeah,
we're all
church
folk.
We're all church folk. Exactly. A lot of church folk tend to want to stay inside their box and think that you can find your answer within your box, and you can't. Okay. God made a whole big world. He gave people abilities and skills that may not be in your box or in your circle. And sometimes you've got to go outside of your circle to find what it is that God destined for you to have.
So you came to Me University, you came to one of our events called Speak for Pay. You knew you wanted to speak for pay.
Yes.
You know what the title says. And you heard about the mastermind program and you called your husband.
I did.
And so how was that conversation? Because I think a lot of women are challenged with how to communicate the desire to invest in themselves with their spouse. How did you have that conversation, and what advice would you give?
Well, first of all, you know me. I'm one of those women that, regardless of who I am or what I become, my husband is always ahead of the home. And so I called him because I told him this was something that I knew I had to be in. It was something that I felt spiritually, and there was a divine connection. And I don't feel divine connections often. I don't take them lightly either. And so when I called him and I told him the amount, the cost, and it usually doesn't bother him. If it's something I really want to do, he can hear that. My husband can hear it's something that Saundra really wants to do versus, oh, here's something else that she wants to do, kind of thing. And so he told me on the phone, this is for you. Because he was on a call one night. He was listening in on the call, right? And he also heard that connection. And so knowing that you had the tools, you had the ability, you had the experience, you had everything that could pour into me, then when I called him and told him, he knew that that was for me. And so women, when we go out and we ask our husbands or we say, this is something I want to do, make sure they already know that before you go to it. They should already see that passion for what it is that you want to do even before you go and say, can I invest in myself and can we make this investment out of our household? Before I left Raleigh, my husband prayed. My husband and my son and I prayed. And my husband said, God, take care of my wife as she goes for our future.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that was very powerful
goosebumps.
for me.
Take care of her as she goes for our future.
Exactly.
That is so powerful. So tell me, finally here, how has your experience been in the program? How has it helped you to move forward, and what specifically has shifted for you?
Wow. The experience has been wonderful. Excuse me. It has been a great experience. It has been above and beyond what I expected. And my expectations were very high. After Speak for Pay, my expectations were very high because that was an excellent event. And so, but what I've learned, both about me, spiritually, practically, and how to put in action the things. Now, you've got to do the work. I've got to do the work, and sometimes
You're the you. I
don't
do the work.
Oh, you're me. I've got to do the work, and that can be a challenge just because of my job and everything. But I've learned so much. You don't go away without something that you can't put into practice, and you've got to have the discipline to be able to do that when you get back home.
Okay.
Or even before you get home.
So when you think about investing in yourself, you have the conversation with your family and you have the support of your family. When someone's out there doing it by themselves, what would you tell them about the concept of self-investment to kind of get them to where it is that they want to be?
I did it by myself for 10 years. I had the ministry alone for 10 years. Yeah, Teach is 10 years old. That's the ministry. But I will tell you, it was too difficult. I got frustrated, I got tired, and I literally got burned out. If you don't invest in yourself for things that you don't know, if you don't go out and seek that and find it and invest in yourself to be able to do it, you're just going to be running around like a little hamster, running around and around on that little treadmill circle or whatever you call it, and getting nowhere.
Yeah. And I say we invest in ourselves every day, but it's shoes or clothes or cars or things that don't necessarily appreciate it, even sometimes degrees, right? Education is important, but is it really elevating your gifts?
Exactly.
So I am so glad you're in our program. I'm
Glad
so
to be
proud
here.
of you.
Thank you.
Unlimited Momentum.
Yes.
So can you tell everybody your website, how to find you online, and then also on social media?
Okay. On social media, you can find me on Facebook at Unlimited Momentum with Dr. Saundra Williams. On Twitter, it is at Saundra Williams.
Fantastic. You all make sure you check her out. I listen when this lady talks. She's always giving like marriage advice and elevated spiritual advice. It's just an honor to have her in the program.
Thank you.
So proud of her. And if you are interested or thinking about wanting to walk down that same path, you can always just reach out to us and let us know how we can support you. This is about service for me and for our company as well. So just know that I believe in you. I know that the best is within you. It is just waiting to manifest through you. It's time for us to hear your confidence in action story. Take care. God bless. We'll see you the next time. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.